When Hitler came to power in January 1933, he had a lot of crazy ideas, and because of them, people considered him a clown in his country, and everybody mocked him, at least at the beginning. He had this crazy idea that he could make his own race, in this case, pure German Aryan race. How crazy was that idea? In his head, this was a goal that he wanted to achieve. That was a task he left for his commanders and generals to accomplish. And the command took this task very seriously because it was directly from him. After all, this was a wish of their Führer. They strictly prohibited German soldiers and officers from engaging in intimate relations with women in occupied territories. This was driven by the Nazi leadership's obsessive focus on preserving the purity of Aryan blood. However, this was Hitler's wish, but not everyone was obsessed with this crazy idea, especially since this was not something that concerned the lower rank of the German soldiers. They didn't care a lot about Hitler's crazy fantasies. They had their own. A lot of these lower-ranking soldiers showed little interest in Hitler's vision and the potential future of their nation after the conquest of new lands. What mattered to them was devastation, stealing, terrorizing the women population, and killing. They were dying on the battlefront, not the command. So, after they occupied a territory, many women became easy prey for them, ready to be taken. Hitler knew about the atrocities his soldiers were doing in the occupied territories, but he did not bother at all with that. But the one thing that he was furious about was that his soldiers didn't obey his command of pure Aryan race order. As the war progressed, with every year that passed, the German soldiers became more and more aggressive and without any human empathy for other people and nations. The desire for young, attractive women during those years of warfare, stuck in trenches for days, became overwhelming, and the pick of these crimes was when they attacked the Soviet Union. The Russian women fell these crimes the most. Even today, they can't forget the stories of German atrocities against the Russian women on daily basis. Many of the soldiers used their time on the Eastern Front as they went on hunting expeditions. Crimes were happening all day, every day. There were tons of stories with witnesses where German soldiers committed gruesome crimes against the female population over there. We managed to find a few of them. Here are some of the crimes. One drunk German soldier abducted young women who were later assaulted by 7 tankers. People were watching this, but no one could do anything. Another story we have is in the village of Poki, near Moscow, where farmer Ivan Turkin was walking with his wife, Pina, when several German soldiers attacked her in front of him and then killed both her and Ivan, who had tried to defend her. More than 100,000 women served in the Red Army during the war, many as nurses or chefs. During the war, the Germans managed to capture more than 10,000 of these women. Their desire was one thing, but the order was to shoot them on sight. Their bodies were scattered around the battlefield with bruises from torture and violation. Many of the captured women were taken to the nearby camps for hard labor. Only the strongest were held in these camps, and the weakest were separated a later shot and buried in big holes. The Soviet women had it much worse than the male soldiers in these camps. Every day they were terrorized by the Germans in many ways, but they didn't break. They kept going and hoping that they would survive this, and happy days would come. The most attractive ones were chosen to serve in the kitchen areas by prepping meals and washing dishes, but there were ones that didn't want to serve the Germans at any cost and didn't want to be subjugated by the German authorities, and those had it the worst. Immediately they were sent to the gas chambers. When the time came for the Russians to free the camp prisoners from those camps, many of the soldiers saw these women as traitors because they served the German soldiers in any way. All the women from those camps will go through different tests and examinations before sending them free. World War II became the most horrible war that happened to the human population. Millions lost their lives. Millions lost their homes. The world became ashes and devastation, and trauma still echoes today. We can't erase the past and we can't forget what happened, but we can learn from it and stop it from ever happening again. Thanks for watching the video, and please, if you can, support the channel. That way we can make more videos like this.